Hey everyone, it's Jamie, and today we're tackling something we've all experienced at some point, those annoying Android phone problems. Whether it's your battery draining faster than a race car on a hot lap, apps crashing more than a newbie driver, or your phone running slower than a snail in a staring contest, we've got you covered. We're diving deep into the 5 most common issues that plague us Android users, and more importantly, how to fix them. We're talking real solutions, not just quick fixes, so you can get back to enjoying that sleek piece of tech in your pocket. So, if you're ready to transform your Android experience from frustrating to fantastic, buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. First up, the dreaded battery drain. It's like your phone's constantly thirsty, and no matter how much you charge it, it just can't quench its thirst. But don't worry, there are ways to combat this energy vampire. One of the biggest culprits is that beautiful, bright display. Seriously, we love our screens, but they can be real juice hogs. Try turning down the brightness even just a little, and you'll be surprised by the difference it makes. Next up, those sneaky background apps. You know, the ones lurking in the shadows, silently draining your battery even when you're not using them. Take a minute to close out any apps you're not actively using. And while you're at it, dive into your settings and check which apps are using the most battery. You might be surprised to find some unexpected power-hungry culprits. Consider limiting their background activity, or, if you don't use them much, just uninstall them. Now let's talk battery saver mode. It's like the low power mode on your phone, but for everyday use. It limits background activity, dims the screen a bit, and generally helps your phone sip power instead of guzzling it. Another thing to consider is your network connection. Constantly searching for a signal can really drain your battery. If you're in an area with spotty reception, consider switching to airplane mode or using Wi-Fi whenever possible. And hey, let's not forget about those power-hungry features we all love like Bluetooth, GPS, and NFC. If you're not using them, turn them off. It's like turning off the lights when you leave a room. Small changes, big impact. Finally, let's talk about battery health. Over time, your battery will naturally degrade and its capacity will decrease. If you're noticing a significant drop in battery life, it might be time to consider a battery replacement. So, there you have it, a few simple tips to help you fight back against battery drain and keep your Android phone powered up throughout the day. Next up, we're tackling slow performance. That frustrating lag when you're trying to open an app, the endless loading screens, it's enough to make anyone want to throw their phone against the wall. But hold on, there's hope. One of the easiest things you can do is clear your cache. Think of it like taking out the trash on your phone. It gets rid of all the temporary files and data that can slow things down. Speaking of clutter, let's talk about unused apps. We've all been there, downloading an app for a specific purpose and then completely forgetting about it. These apps take up valuable storage space and can contribute to slow performance. So take a scroll through your app drawer and uninstall anything you don't use regularly. Now, for the big guns factory reset. I know it sounds scary, but sometimes you just gotta hit the reset button. This will wipe your phone clean and restore it to its factory settings, which can often resolve persistent performance issues. Just be sure to back up your important data first. Another thing to consider is your phone's storage. If your internal storage is almost full, it can lead to sluggish performance. Try transferring some files to an SD card or cloud storage to free up some space. And hey, while we're talking about storage, let's not forget about widgets. They can be handy, but they can also eat up resources and slow things down. Consider removing any widgets you don't absolutely need. Finally, let's talk about software updates. Android updates often include performance improvements and bug fixes, so it's important to keep your phone up to date. To check for updates, head to your phone settings and look for the software update option. So there you have it, a few tips to help you speed up your Android phone and get it running like new again. Let's face it, a phone without a connection is basically a very expensive paperweight. So when your Wi-Fi is acting up or Bluetooth refuses to connect, it can be incredibly frustrating. But don't worry, we've got some troubleshooting tips to get you back online. First up, the classic turn it off and on again solution. Seriously, it works more often than not. Try toggling your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth off and then back on again. If that doesn't work, try restarting your phone. Next, let's check your network settings. Sometimes your phone might be trying to connect to a saved network that's no longer available. Try forgetting the network and then reconnecting. If you're still having trouble with Wi-Fi, try resetting your network settings. This will erase all your saved Wi-Fi networks and passwords, so make sure you have them handy before you proceed. For Bluetooth issues, make sure the device you're trying to connect to is in pairing mode and within range. Also, check if your phone's Bluetooth software is up to date. Sometimes connectivity issues can be caused by interference from other devices or even physical obstacles. Try moving closer to your router or removing any objects that might be blocking the signal. And hey, let's not forget about airplane mode. It's not just for flights anymore. Turning on airplane mode for a few seconds and then turning it back off can sometimes resolve connectivity issues. Finally, if all else fails, it's always a good idea to check with your carrier or device manufacturer to see if there are any known network outages or software issues that might be affecting your connection. So, there you have it, a few tips to help you troubleshoot connectivity issues and get your Android phone back online. We've all been there, you're in the middle of something important and suddenly, bam, app crash. It's like your phone's way of saying, nope, not today. But fear not, there are ways to combat these app-apocalyptic events. First and foremost, make sure your apps are up to date. Developers are constantly releasing updates that include bug fixes and performance improvements. To check for updates, head to the Google Play Store and go to the My Apps and Games section. Sometimes app crashes can be caused by corrupted data. Try clearing the app's data or cache. This won't delete your app data, but it will reset the app to its default settings. If you're still experiencing crashes, try reinstalling the app. This will delete the app and all its data, so make sure you have any important data backed up before you proceed. Another thing to consider is your phone's storage. If your internal storage is almost full, it can lead to app crashes. Try transferring some files to an SD card or cloud storage to free up some space. And hey, while we're talking about storage, let's not forget about RAM. If your phone is running low on RAM, it can cause apps to crash. Try closing out any apps you're not using to free up some RAM. Finally, if all else fails, it's always a good idea to check the app's reviews on the Google Play Store to see if other users are experiencing similar issues. You can also try contacting the app developer directly to report the issue. So there you have it, a few tips to help you prevent and fix app crashes and keep your Android experience smooth sailing. Last but not least, let's talk about overheating. It's not just uncomfortable to hold a scorching phone, it can also damage the battery and other internal components. So, let's cool things down, shall we? One of the biggest culprits of overheating is heavy usage while charging. It's like asking your phone to run a marathon while simultaneously trying to refuel. Give it a break, let it charge in peace, and then you can both go back to pushing its limits. Speaking of breaks, make sure your phone has adequate ventilation. Don't trap it under a pillow or blanket while it's charging or in use. Let it breathe. Another thing to consider is your phone case. Some cases, especially bulky or poorly designed ones, can trap heat. If you're noticing your phone getting hot, try removing the case. And hey, let's not forget about the environment. If it's a scorching hot day, avoid leaving your phone in direct sunlight or inside a hot car. Treat it like you would a pet. Keep it cool and comfortable. If you're a gamer or frequently use demanding apps, be mindful of extended usage. Give your phone a break every now and then to cool down. And finally, if your phone is consistently overheating, even without heavy usage, it could be a sign of a more serious issue. It's best to contact your device manufacturer or a qualified technician to have it checked out. So there you have it, a few tips to help you prevent overheating and keep your Android phone running cool and collected. So there you have it, the top 5 Android problems and more importantly, the solutions to conquer them. Remember, these issues might be common, but they don't have to ruin your Android experience. With a little troubleshooting and some preventative measures, you can keep your phone running smoothly, efficiently, and most importantly, without those frustrating hiccups. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tech tips and reviews. See you in the next one.